Well, kia ora and welcome into the Harness Half Hour, proudly brought to you by HRNZ Marketing. Our guests on the show today are Todd McFarlane, Amber Hoffman, Sandy Shaar of Emblems, designer of the new Harness Jewels trophies, Stevie Goulding and Richard Wilson. Also stay tuned to find out how you can win a $250 voucher from New Zealand Horse Transport on inter-island travel. And here's today's headlines. Princess Tiffany remains unbeaten as she heads into this Saturday's Breeders' Crown finals. She's drawn the front line for her final and opens a short price favourite on the Australian books. Zac Butcher dominated the 8-race card at Cambridge on Thursday, taking home 4 driving wins, whilst North Canterbury trainer Kyle Cameron collected a winning double as a trainer and driver at Addington on Friday night with Opawa Mark and Medusa. Alicia Harrison is out of the sulky until at least October after discovering she had fractured her ankle after a recent incident at Alexandra Park. Harrison recently won the Junior Driver Championship held between Forbury Park and Addington Raceway. And Go Davey delivered in Sunday's Courier Cup for Dean Taylor and Ricky May. Congratulations to the Connections. Time now to head to the North Island and chatting with Todd McFarlane. Always nice to catch up with people around the industry, Todd, and find out a bit more about what they're involved in outside of their training and driving career. And I understand you've got a close association now with the North Island trainers and drivers.
Yeah, pretty close. I've been on the committee for a number of years and probably about the last 4 years been chairman of that committee. So takes up a bit of time, but it's quite a rewarding role, and it's just great to be able to give something back to the industry.
Todd, can you tell people that aren't quite aware what exactly goes on in that association and how often are you meeting and getting new ideas on the board?
Well, we're here to represent all licence holders, trainers and drivers obviously, and anyone who's licensed. And, you know, this last 12 months we've started a new initiative where we've got our driver mentoring scheme where we've got Scotty Phelan. He works under us and looks after the junior drivers and any problems they've got, and just advising them and trying to guide them through their careers. And we also help with the cadet school, running their field days and that sort of thing. So helping Sally Waters along there, which is quite good. And any other things that perhaps people need, they can come through us, and then we can voice their concerns, whether it be the clubs or any other kindred bodies along the way.
Todd, do you find that a lot of horsemen and women aren't fully aware of what you guys do and how much help they can get from that association? Yeah, I think generally across the board people are, but there is still a lot of people who aren't aware of what we can help them with. Mm-hmm. And you know, we might not always be able to help, but we can always try and point someone in the right direction and always trying to do our best by licence holders anyway. Obviously, the mentoring system with Scott Phelan has been a big success. And have you seen a change in terms of, you know, how harness racing is for the younger drivers? Are you feeling that they're kind of needing to reach out a bit more for that mentorship and support?
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot of them get good support from their employers anyway. Mm-hmm. Just a good way if they need to talk to someone outside of that or just want some guidance on what they should be doing on and off the track, protocol, all those sorts of things that perhaps they didn't know who to ask or where to go, giving them an avenue to go to.
I guess it's a whole different kettle of fish really now for the youth in terms of, you know, you have to learn how to promote yourself as a professional and a sports person and really network for drives and, you know, kind of look at things in a new light these days?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's pretty hard out there to get drives because of the number of horses and sometimes in those junior races, you know, they're not big fields, so it's about getting on the phone and making yourself known to trainers and even just meeting with them on race night and helping them out and just trying to do all the right things to get you, like you say, to sell yourself and make them aware of who you are.
Yeah. And Todd, your involvement with that association, as you say, you're the chairman now. Do you derive a lot of pride out of being able to give back in that way, shape and form?
Yeah, well, just the industry's been good to me over the years and given me a lot, and I've been fortunate. A lot of people have helped me along the way, so I just see it as a way of me being able to give back, and I'll do my term, and then it'll be someone else's opportunity to come in with fresh ideas and a bit of enthusiasm to carry on at a later date.
Oh, good on you with that line of work. I take my hat off to you and all those that are involved in associations like the trainers and drivers and various outlets around the industry and giving back. And in terms of your career, Todd, I see you're not far away from driving 500 winners, currently sitting on 480, and you've trained 131 winners so far. How are you finding the training foray?
It's good. It's the last couple of years, it's sort of changed. The landscape's changed a little bit for us. We've gone on and tried to syndicate horses and try and get a better quality of horse. So that's quite exciting in itself. That's a big step forward for us and moving in a very positive direction in that regard.
Yeah, in regards to that, I see you've recruited Aaron Lowe, and Aaron was there representing your stable on Owners' Night at Alexandra Park. Did a great job, 5 new owners. And do you see that really as the way forward? Obviously, you're busy with horses on race night and you can't fully, give as much attention to owners and potential owners as you could if you weren't training and driving. But do you see employing someone like Aaron as a positive for everyone to follow?
It's something that works for me. It's a good balance. Aaron and I have known each other for a number of years, so he knows how I operate and I know how he operates, and we sort of find a happy medium where we can work together really well. Yes, certainly, it's hard for me to get round, especially with the syndicates, to get to everybody and relay a lot of the information. So he does that in a very efficient manner. He's a great people person and he's a great talker, so he certainly exceeds me in all those areas anyway.
Yeah, he did a remarkable job for you and the team, but I do take my hat off to you for seeing that opportunity to have someone be your voice and take that on board, because I guess as things go forward, Todd, syndication is going to be the main form of ownership, and I guess it's another option that people have to look at, having a communication person on the team.
Yeah, certainly. Syndicates are working for us, and so far as it's just getting cost prohibitive for people to own horses by themselves, we can, with the syndicates, we can get them into 2 or 3 horses and spread the risk for them, and they can come in with a small or as big a share as they want. So we've got packages there to suit everyone, and it sort of it works well for everyone, and it's a great social thing for people too. They meet a lot of new people and form new friendships that they perhaps didn't have in the past.
Todd, going forward, is there any horse in the team that we should be following and following on from that? Have you got any lofty goals left to achieve as a trainer and driver?
Certainly, I didn't realise I was that close to 500 driving wins, but that's certainly what I want to get to, and further from there. I just want to keep being able to train and drive winners, and that's the main goal, and get some satisfied owners along the way.
And you'd be happy for anyone if they're, thinking about becoming an owner and might not have the biggest budget. Are you happy for them to contact you and maybe you can cater their needs?
Oh, absolutely. We can cater to all budgets, and even the smallest share is. I think people will be quite surprised how cheap it can be. And we try and involve them in 3 horses where it spreads the risk, and it's only a monthly fee, which so there's no hidden costs, and that way it's all set in stone.
Fantastic. Well, Todd, once again, congratulations on the great effort you're putting in with the North Island Trainers and Drivers Association, and good luck going forward. As I say, Aaron did a great job for you on Owners' Night, so wishing you every success. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Jess.
And following on from our chat with Todd McFarlane, if you would like to contact Todd and the North Island Trainers and Drivers Association, you can call 0274 938 527. That's 0274 938 527. Todd also mentioned after this interview was recorded, he'd like to acknowledge the hard work the ATC is doing in racing stakes and also the way they're treating their owners. At this time of the podcast, we check out what's making headlines on social media, and starting off with New Zealand. On the HRNZ platforms, Amber and Jason Letherby trained their first winner as a training partnership on Friday night at Addington. Well done to Amber and Jason. Amber, of course, picking up a driving double on the night. Contenders for the annual awards were released last week and are up on the HRNZ website. And don't forget also that tickets for the HRNZ National Awards are also on sale via our website, hrnz.co.nz. And from Australia, God's Spirit was successful for Team Triton last Tuesday, winning at Menangle. And for all of the latest on their team, make sure you follow at Triton_team on Twitter for all of the latest updates. And from the US and Canada, Dexter opened his US driving tour with 2 drives at Yonkers on Sunday, which was New Zealand time Sunday. He finished 3rd and 7th, and you can follow Yonkers Raceway and US Trotting on Twitter for more updates. This month's competition, thanks to New Zealand Horse Transport, you could win a $250 voucher to use on inter-island travel with New Zealand Horse Transport just by emailing your name and contact information to me. That's jess@hrnz.co.nz, jess@hrnz.co.nz, and we'll be drawing that out on the last show of this month. We're standing here at Oamaru Racecourse. It's Kura Harness Racing Club's annual race meeting, and big sponsors of the Cup today are Glamour Hooves, and Amber Hoffman, that's your stable. Can you tell us how that came about?
It was actually Gerald Cayford that put everything together and decided, right, we may as well sponsor it, get my name out there and everything like that, so it was really good.
And it's really good that it's fallen on your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was quite lucky that it fell on my birthday, but yeah, hopefully the horses run well, and yeah.
I'm always intrigued, Amber, as to how people get involved in harness racing. Did you have a racing background, or how on earth did you land in this business?
My grandfather used to train thoroughbreds, so I sort of got involved with thoroughbreds and didn't get into the standardbreds till I got with Graham Anderson, so yeah.
And was it much of a leap to go from thoroughbreds to standardbreds? Was there a big learning curve there?
Not so much. I actually found it a lot easier that I'd ridden, so I had a bit more understanding of the horses before I got in the cart, so yeah, I found it quite easy.
Amber, you've got a great record in terms of getting horses turned around. You've got a lot of horses that come to you via various ways. Well, I guess, what are some of the ways that they do come your way?
Just a lot of the Canterbury trainers, just they think maybe a change of scenery or it's easier down here. So yeah, I'm quite lucky that I've got the support from Mark Jones and even Regan Todd now, so I'm very lucky in that aspect. You're
a beach trainer, so without being too obvious, I mean, it's a great change of atmosphere, obviously, for horses, but what do you think are the major benefits?
We can do a lot. We can ride them, and we've got a big forestry that we can ride around and do a lot of road riding, and just change their work completely and just make them feel big and brave and everything like that, instead of going round and round a track all the time. It really helps.
It was really great to see you featuring on primetime TV on Coast. For those who didn't see us, do you want to explain how that came about?
I actually got a phone call one day from a producer of Coast New Zealand, and she just said, look, we were filming down at Karatani and it was quite boring what they were filming down there, and they saw the horses. I thought, oh, this looks like fun. So yeah, they approached me and we agreed to do it, and it was a great day.
It looked like it was quite involved. There was slow-mo cameras and GoPros everywhere, and it looked quite intense.
It was actually about 5 hours for just that sort of couple of minutes that they showed on TV. Yeah, we were down there all morning. Yeah.
And I noticed the presenter too, he seemed to come around to being a bit of a fan of harness racing.
Yeah, well, he's actually done a lot of polo, so he was quite horsey anyway, but yeah, he took to it really well. And yeah, he keeps in touch and asks what the horses are doing and everything like that, so it's quite cool.
Fantastic. And going forward, Amber, what are your goals? Obviously, each year, each season, you're getting more and more success, and Glamour Hooves is now a household name in the industry. What are the big targets for Amber Hoffman?
Hopefully to get a really nice young horse and go through the grades with him or her. So we've got quite a few babies there at the moment, and they all seem to be coming along quite nicely. So hopefully we've got Bonnie Jones' little sister there at the moment. So yeah, like she's a wee minx, but hopefully she can run like her sister.
Fantastic. And if anyone's listening and they're thinking, gee, my horse could use a change of scenery, are you open to phone calls?
Yeah, definitely. If anyone wants to try something new, just give us a ring.
Amber, thank you for your time and happy birthday.
Thanks, Jess.
One of the items that took centre stage at this year's Cambridge Harness Jewels were the brand new trophies on show, and they were designed in Hamilton by the team at Emblems. And joining me on the show today is Sandy Shaar from Emblems. Sandy, first and foremost, congratulations on a remarkable trophy. It's had such huge feedback and positive feedback from the industry. But firstly, I just wanted to talk to you about how long you've been making trophies.
Well, Emblems New Zealand has been manufacturing trophies for over 30 years now. Personally, myself, I've been involved with trophies for approximately 20 years. Approximately 20 years I've been doing trophies myself. So a really long time, I guess you could say. So, I sort of started at the bottom and worked my way up from just very basic names and dates on cups to designing and manufacturing, and then I became the workshop manager, and from workshop manager I now own Emblems New Zealand. So I'm being very lucky to be able to be involved with so many great trophies and awards and designs. Yeah.
Sandy, I'm always intrigued as to how, or how much is involved in this type of work, because obviously we see the end product and how remarkable it looks, but just what type of education and skill set is required to go into such an intricate job?
That's a little bit tricky because I've sort of got a bit of a unique background. A lot of the people that we employ here do design degrees at university, and they come with all this incredible talent and skill set. I didn't particularly come from that background. I actually started out as a motorcycle mechanic, and then that evolved into being a sheet metal engineer. And then from being a sheet metal engineer, I moved on into the engraving field, and I kind of found my niche. But I was always good at drawing and artwork and design at school, right through high school, and it was one of those things I really should have pursued when I was younger, but I never did. Mainly because 30 odd years ago the fields didn't exist. But that's changed now, and the world is a different place, and design is such a huge and important thing to the world now. Everything from a can of Red Bull that we pick up to the flashiest car or whatever is really well thought out and designed nowadays. So it's just a different world, and I'm lucky because the skill set that I've brought and the trades that I've learned previously have all led me up to a point where I kind of think relatively intuitively towards making things. And I like to use mediums that I'm really familiar with. So like the Harness Racing Jewels Trophy is it's made out of stainless steel, folded stainless steel. So like I mentioned before, I came from a stainless steel background. The beauty about stainless steel is you can do anything with it. You can make it any shape. You can make it's robust. You can drop it on the ground. It isn't going to break. It's a really solid medium to work with, and it's really, really versatile. And then from there, we can plate it, and we work with some fantastic platers in Auckland that we've literally just discovered. And Chris up there, he's been amazing. They put a nickel plate over it, and then from the nickel plate, which makes it up to look basically like chrome, like so beautiful chrome plate finish, and then it gets gold plated on top of that, full 24 karat gold plate, and it just looks beautiful. I mean, it becomes a piece of jewellery. Yeah. 24 karat gold. And of course, all the beauty of gold is it's such a wonderful medium to work with. It's very forgiving. It doesn't tarnish, and of course, it's just got that beautiful golden look, which just absolutely reeks of a winner. That's what a winner is winning the golden thing. And then to top it all off, we're the sole importers of Recaro crystal. We bring them in from Australia, but they're actually made in Czechoslovakia, I think it is, or Czech Republic now, I think it is actually. And they're handmade crystal, and so the diamond on top is lead crystal. It's imported from Europe, and that just pops on top, just as the focal point to the whole award. And thought when we were designing it, or when I first sort of got presented with the idea to be able to design it, even the event itself spoke to me. Mm-hmm. It told me what, where to go, and it's funny when you're a designer. Everybody goes, "Oh, how did you come up with the design?" But really, it's a lot of it is filling a need. So there's needs to be a trophy for the harness jewels. Well, the first thing that comes up is jewels, and you think of jewels, you think of diamonds. Mm. And of course, with the harness jewels, there's all the different categories and the different layers and levels and all the rest of it. But ultimately, that's the thing you think of. Well, we have these large lead crystal diamonds sitting, right in our showroom, just aching to be turned into something really spectacular. And they're just sitting there, and I'm like, it was a no-brainer. There wasn't a lot of thinking that needed to happen. That was what it was going to be. Mm. We need to make it look spectacular, so let's put it on a beautiful pedestal that reflects the shape of the diamond, or the jewel. Mm. And so we just I projected that up into a really beautiful shape, and then popped the jewel on top, and it was a winner instantly with pretty much very little, with very little effort. It just worked. And it's funny that the ones that really stand out, the ones that work, and the ones that end up becoming really iconic trophies, they tend to happen that way. Mm-hmm. They tend to come really easily. They don't need a lot of developing. They don't need a lot of sitting down and talking with lots of people. There's not a lot of that collectiveness. Often it's just one super spark, and you jump on it and you develop that idea, and next minute you've got this trophy.
Because I guess, Sandy, it would be really easy to overthink an award like that. Do you think simple is best in these cases?
Yeah, totally agree. I see it all the time. Often, I've got some fantastic staff, and sometimes they bring me some absolutely stunningly beautiful designs that are absolutely impossible to make. And I have to go, right, let's strip it down to something a bit more basic, or something that we can actually build. And some of the stuff they come up with is really amazing, but super intricate, and it just didn't need to be in the first place. Mm. But then that said, sometimes that's half the challenge, is coming up with a solution to make these things.
And the feedback from the industry, Sandy, was phenomenal. When everyone saw those trophies on Jules Day, that they not only wanted to win the race, but the cherry on top was being able to have that exquisite trophy on their mantelpiece. I understand they're so popular that you've even had owners come and order more after the fact.
Yeah, we've had 6 different owners. I think it's 5 or 6 different owners order their own ones, their own personal Jules trophy, which is testament to you take one look at it, and if you had anything to do with the race and your horse won it, you'll be like, man, I want that on my mantelpiece. And that says it all, really. And that's what a trophy should do. When you're winning an award, it's not just you're striving to achieve something, and if you reach that achievement, that's incredible in itself. But then having that trophy is like the carrot, the golden carrot that's in front of your nose, and I'm imagining everybody will want one, and it will just make the event so much more competitive. And the few people that will end up winning them, it'll be something special for them to own, for sure. And the effort that it takes to win it, it's certainly not something that's going to be easily given away or earned. So the people that get them, they'll know the true value of them. They certainly didn't cost $1 million, but to the people who won them, that's what they're worth. They're priceless things.
Yeah, I guess that'll be the last thing you're thinking is how much is that worth when you're holding it, because it is so stunning. And Harness Racing New Zealand are really looking forward to working with Emblems going forward. You are now our preferred trophy supplier, which we're really excited about, because we saw we saw the work that went into those trophies and the love and care and respect that you gave our industry. And of course, you're providing our awards, our national awards trophies, which are coming up at the end of September. So we thank you and Penny for the huge effort, and your crew too, that you put into these trophies, and just wanted to chat to you today about the thought and the process that goes into them, because I know they've been a massive talking point, and congratulations to you and the team. You just did an outstanding job.
Oh, thank you very much. Every year we're fortunate. I would say every year only one trophy really stands out for us as a company. We only get the opportunity to do one thing that's really special. Last year it was the ANZ Premiership Trophy, which is, of course, the crown and glory for the netball in New Zealand, the regional that the Southern Steel just recently won. But, this year for us undoubtedly is the Harness Jewels trophies. They just are spectacular, and they go along with our whole company philosophy. We want to be the company that provides these top-level awards throughout the country for everybody. We want to be cutting edge. We want to be doing things that are unique and different and beautiful, and we want people to go, wow, look at that. And really, at the end of the day, we know, or we hope that's what we achieve, as people are just blown away. So that's the reward for us, and that's what we're aiming for, or what we're trying to achieve.
Well, it's a pleasure to welcome onto the Harness Half Hour this week former leading junior driver in Stevie Goulding. And Stevie, you've got many hats now these days, but understand you're involved with Hororata, and you've got a big golf day coming up.
Yeah, that's right, Jess. My brother and I, Matt, he came up with the idea to sort of do something a little bit left field. So we sort of a golf tournament, a golf day at Whedon's for the Hororata golf, for the Hororata Racing Committee. So, it's a good day for everyone to sort of relax. There's no races on the Friday night, so it'll be quite good just to, get everyone there and have some fun and some laughs and a couple of beers.
So what has the interest in the day been like, Stevie?
Yeah, it's been really good. So we're doing sponsoring a hole and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people, surprisingly, a lot of people that don't have any harness involvement, which is really great to get some new people on board, and also a lot of people that are just putting in fours for their businesses and stuff like that to shout clients and that for the day out. There's going to be a couple of prizes and raffles and things like that. So, if you are interested, then just give us a call and we can go from there.
And Stevie, your involvement with Hororata, it looks as though that club, you're trying a lot of new things and getting a few more younger people involved?
Yeah, I think it sort of needs to be like that throughout New Zealand, Jess. Just the fact that, you sort of got to adapt with the times a little bit too, and there's a lot of young people out there with some great ideas that probably are just a little bit held back on sharing them. So we're sort of just trying to encourage people to not be scared and to give it a go, because it is what you make it. And we'll see how this golf day and that goes for the club, and that raise a few funds, and it might lead to a few more better things happening on race day, So we'll just keep building on it every year and see how we go, I suppose.
Well, fantastic. And it's great too to see, Stevie, that you're involved with our youth council here at HRNZ, and a big breakthrough of recent times has been the Junior Drivers Savings Scheme, which you've named the Future Funds Scheme, and that's going to launch this next season. So you'd be pretty proud about that.
Yeah, I am, Jess. It's sort of, it's one of them things. There's a lot of people out there that, they try their best to get ahead in life, but just need a little bit of direction. And I think with this in place, it's going to put a lot of young people on the right path to have a better lifestyle, and that when they are a bit older and that, have a bit of a foundation for them. It's obviously voluntary and stuff like that, but just talking, getting a general feel from everyone out there, they're actually quite eager to get into it and start seeing the results in the next couple of years, I suppose.
And Stevie, you've been very vocal about the fact that had this type of scheme been around, that you could potentially still be in harness racing full time.
Yeah, I sort of looked at it like something like this. I was a little bit not loose, but I was a little bit stray with my money in that when I was in the horses. It's so easy track to fall into. So I was thinking one day, what could have been better for my generation going through the juniors, and after seeing a couple of people that did it off their own bat, it's surely something that they benefit from now. And yeah, it's just that, as I say, that foundation to set you up, and I probably wouldn't have thought about doing something else when I come out of my juniors,
And going forward, I know you're going to be a big advocate for this scheme and utilising you to promote this to the next generation, because as you say, I guess it's something that the younger people at this stage aren't really thinking about, and they kind of need that direction.
Yeah, exactly, and as soon as they sort of realise that they are the fuel for the harness racing fire, and if you don't keep feeding that fire with young people and stuff, it's obviously not going to stay alight. So, as soon as they jump on board and start talking to their mates and that, seeing how good it is and how easy it will be, I think that we'll really see the benefits in a couple of years' time. I know it's a little bit down the track, but I mean, you've got to start somewhere, and as I say, if it started when I was a junior, I certainly probably would have been doing something different than what I am now.
And just to wrap things up, Stevie, what are you doing now for those who don't know?
So I am in real estate for Harcourts in Hornby here. So I try and do a lot of sponsorship and market in the harness racing side of things. I've got a few clients that are in harness racing, which is really great. So it's sort of like my wee niche, I suppose. And so I'm a part-time trainer as well. I've got a couple of horses out at home, which I'm just about to apply to get my trainer's license. So hopefully they don't turn me down, and obviously with Sam's involvement, I'm always going to be quite a big part in harness racing, and I can only probably see it getting a bit more bigger over the years to come, I'll say.
Well, Stevie, we're really grateful for the assistance that you've given us, as I say, on the Youth Council and getting the Future Fund scheme off the ground. So congratulations, well done, and we look forward to your input over future years, of course.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for the opportunity, Jess. That's great.
Well, at this stage of the podcast, we take the liberty of chatting to harness bookmaker Richard Wilson and getting all the oil on what went good and bad for punters over the weekend. Richard, as we head to you Thursday, last night at Cambridge, and looks like punters had a good start to the week there.
Yeah, there was a sort of theme that continued on most of the week, Jess. It was pretty good for punters, and there wasn't a lot of good for us. So first off there, the good start to the week there for punters. The longest price winner being $5.80, so they were right on the money all throughout the day. Not too many large bets there though, thank goodness. A couple of $1,000 bets did cash in early though. Cosmic Book Hero, 1,000 at $5.50 in race 2, and there was 1,000 on Rupert of Lincoln at $4.40 in race 3. And a couple of other well-back runners there. Naholo, he was $1.85 into $1.60, and Lincoln Road, $2.20 into $2.10, and the Hulk was a bit of a mover, $5.20 into $4.20. And there was one big bet going our way, $2,000 on Sequoia at $6.50.
Okay, so that was Thursday night Cambridge, and of course Zach Butcher driving half the card to win there, so well done to him. And Friday night at Addington, Richard, looks as though there were a couple of upsets on the card overall.
Yeah, a couple of upsets helped us, but punters were on the rest of them really. The best bet there, $2,000 on the Golden Boy at $3.90, and also pretty good, $1,500 on Franco Riot at $3.80, and there were two $6,500 bets on Anna Malik at $1.60. So those ones were coming off good, and there was also 1,000 on Medusa at $4.50. So punters right on the money there. A couple of bets that went our way, 3,200 on Scarlet Banner at $2.90, and there was another 4,900 at $1.85 in race 1. So she blew the start, paced away, and you wouldn't believe it, 3 races later she comes out and runs third in the free-for-all. So I've never seen really a debut night for a horse having its first start as a trotter like that. So expect her to be very short when she's next to a maiden anyway. $4,000 on Grand Chico at $2 just missed out, so that was one went our way, and there was another $4,000 Bow Vista at $2. That one helped us quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a night that had everything really at Addington on Friday and Sunday at Oamaru for the Kura Harness Racing Club meeting, and it looked as though you guys were kept fairly busy.
There was a strange old day, Jess. We seemed to dodge the worst result in a number of races, but the next best backed horse got home. So whilst we didn't have to pay out the large amount, it was the next largest amount, and it wasn't a lot of fun. So punters on the money there. A couple of long shots late in the day really saved our bacon. The biggest mover there, Shadow Minister in race 5, opened on the third line of betting at $5.25 and closed the favourite at $2.70. Led all the way, no dramas there for punters. They were all over that one. Two $2,000 bets on Saying Grace, one at $1.90 and one at $1.75. Got the money there. And there was a pretty big stack of bets below that amount too. Molly Duca, one of the strongest backed horses in race 2 there, $4.80 into $2.70. And that included a $4,000 bet to run in the top 3 at $1.45. And so her running fourth was pretty good, but it's the final countdown. Also well backed, $8.50 into $6.80, so there was no joy for us there. And the other one that was strongly backed just changed the print, $1.60 on opening into $1.45. A couple of decent multis coming through from the Bendigo harness the night before, and things weren't looking too good. And what do you know, Nancy's Boy was a better result for us, but not too good when we're $3.60, and the tote was showing odds on due to a very large all-up bet on the tote. So our $3.60 looked a lot juicier than it possibly was or should have been. So punters cashed in a bit there. And then we got to the last 3 races. Go Davey winning the Cup, that had long odds, that was good for us. Don Domingo well back there, 6,000 at 195, the biggest of quite a range of bets there. And there were some decent multis ending on Forgotten Highway, so he was charging home and just missed. That was good for us. Then the next race, Missy Castleton, strongly supported. And in the last race, Stun and Love, well backed again. There was $1,800 at $2.10, $1,500 and $2,000 bets on at $2. So that one missing out also helped us out quite a bit.
Yeah, it was quite a random day, as you say, with some long shots getting home later in the card. And futures markets, Richard, we've been talking about these over the last few weeks, and you've been kept fairly busy with those.
Yeah, they're ticking over quite nicely. I just had a look before. Every runner has some support in the Cup now in the win book, so that's quite pleasing. It's possibly the most even looking Cup in, I'd say, decades. Anything could, it's really got a shot this time. No real standout. Ultimate Machete, $4.50, holding pretty firm at the top. Chicago Bull, 7, Jack's Legend, 8. And then Dream About Me and the Fixer at 10. There's $11 shots, 12, 14, 16. So, yeah, whatever you like, get stuck in there. There's a few multis starting to stack up too, mainly through the top couple. But, yeah, very interesting there. And the Aussie boys have got the Interdoms open as well. So have a look at those. 1995 for the pacing and 1996 for the trotters.
Yeah, that's great to see too. And as you say, good to see such an even Cup field at this stage of the game as well. And multi of the week, Richard, each week you find us a multi to highlight. And what have you found this time?
Yeah, this is one on Friday night, $20 spend. So not a great outlay, but some decent sort of dividends here. The Golden Boy, $3.80 into DeLongcombe at $4.50. Kingslayer got up in the last couple of strides, $3.60. And then to round it off, Stately for a top 3 at $3.75. So that $20 turned into $4,617.
Nice work. A lazy 20 into $4,500. Well done to that punter. Richard, thank you very much for your time as always. I know you take time out of your day off. You're heading off to the pool to do some hot laps. So thanks for your time this morning, and we'll catch you next week.
Yep, not a problem, Jess. Yeah, definitely a day to be staying inside today. Just looking out the windows, a big black cloud rolling over the hills. So, yep, an inside day today.
You can't beat Wellington on a good day, though, can you?
Can't remember. Give me a good day and I'll tell you.
Good on you, Richard. Thank you.
All right. See you later.
And in what's coming up this week, racing-wise, on Thursday night we head to Addington Raceway for Thursday night harness racing. Friday up to Auckland for Alexandra Park, and on Sunday Gore harness racing takes centre stage. And don't forget, it's Canterbury's turn to host an Owners' Night trial, which we held at Addington Raceway on Friday the 7th of September. All owners and potential owners are invited to attend this free event, and trainers wishing to network and also equine businesses are encouraged to attend also. For more information, you can contact me, Jess, at hrnz.co.nz, plus everyone who RSVPs before August 31st will get 4 free tickets each to the Canterbury vs Manawatu rugby match on Thursday 6th of September. And in news from HRNZ, don't forget the annual awards tickets are now on sale via the HRNZ website. And that's it for this week's Harness Half Hour. Thanks to HRNZ Marketing, the Harness Half Hour podcast is now available on the Punters Lounge, Spotify and iTunes.